Hey there guys, Reckoning here, and welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon. Everybody's grinded up, promoted, and whatnot, like I said I was going to do, and I actually took a few notes while I was, training. Something I noticed was, while I was training Adam up, I decided to bring in the few characters that I hadn't actually promoted, which were Lo, Lyle, Aleph, and Tarasu. And what I did is, I tried to get them as high as level as I could, except for Lyle. I just went ahead and promoted him, I think, once I got into level 10. But Aleph and Tarasu, I got to level 20, promoted them. Lo, at the moment, is the only character that is not promoted. And since Adam's the last character in the game that you acquire, Lo could be the only character that doesn't get promoted. Unless I just decide to promote him. Something I noticed. Lyle was more offensive than Adam was, but Lyle had barely any defense. This could be because I didn't bother training him pre-promotion. Something else. I figured that, because I noticed that Adam took a lot of magic damage. So a strategy I used was bring in Tarasu, cast shield on him so magic wouldn't do any damage. It would just bounce off his shield. That helped out. But the Ice Worm's attacks and the Torch Eye attacks weren't considered magic, so they still got through. So to help me out a little bit with that, I brought in Zuika, because he wasn't, promoted to level 20 yet. So I brought him in, and had him kill the stronger stuff, which helped me. And something I noticed that if you cast... Well, I had casted attack 3 on Zuika, Adam, and Lyle in one battle. And then Zuika's armor got broken, and his attack was 94. Because Zuika's attack doubles once his armor breaks off. After getting in one attack, his attack rose by 6 points, which showed that the max attack, or max stat you can have in the game, is 99. Zuika technically could go over that, because his attack would have technically been 100. Seeing this, I decided to try an attack against Chaos, who has 65 HP. Zuika did about 40. So yeah. Keeping that in mind, if you don't want to use Xylo, you can use Zuika. Because Zuika is defensive, and should his health fall below half, his attack becomes ranged, and he gets a lot more attack power. I can also recommend Lyle, because as long as Lyle doesn't get hit, he can deal some good damage. Also, once you manage to get Adam promoted, you're in the clear. His stats will improve quick enough to allow him to survive the encounters he will be part of in future battles. Basically what I'm getting at is, as soon as he's promoted, you don't have to worry as much. He can stand up to a few hits, but it's still going to be a little bit of a challenge, because he's got to get his stats back up. But they're good. And let's actually start the battle, now that I've wasted about 4 minutes. And the last thing that I noticed was, if you're trying to level up characters, a strategy you can use is keep Max somewhere nearby. That way the enemy's AI may force them to attack Max, even if he's farther away. I'm pretty sure this works better on bosses than regular enemies, and it definitely worked on Chaos. Alright, so let us actually fight. But now that everybody's at least level 20, this should be easy. But there's two characters that once you see their levels, you're going to be like, holy hell. And it's just going to blow you away. You can guess what two characters these are. As I said, when I was training up Adam and Lyle, I kept Narsha in. Because, that way they could get some attack boost and some movement boost. And if you notice, I'm level 28. I am pretty much the strongest thing here. except for Narsha. Narsha's higher. And this actually brings up a good point. Back when we were fighting with Shayla, I said that I wasn't sure whether it was Max or Narsha that would get their last spell at level 26. I found out that both of them get their last spell at level 26. Max gets Supernova 4, Narsha gets Aura 4. So Narsha, if she wants to, can heal everybody on the field. Alright, guns go over here. Narsha is level 33. Yeah. Getting Enride to level 20 wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be either. Really, if you keep the jets away from everything, you're good to go. Jesus Christ. Alright, attack increase. Also, I should probably mention that now that everybody's level 20, you're not going to see gigantic stat gains. Once they hit 20, it's pretty much just, oh, this stat goes up by 1, this stat goes up by 1. So you may have missed the exponential growths, but you can see pretty much how strong they would be if you got them to 20 both times. You can see how much power they can possess. Okay, a ferocious attack. 1 damage. That's insane. Magic is always a problem, though. Unless you're using a mage, magic is always a problem. Or unless they're Adam. Adam actually gets some magic resistance on his own. Which, considering you get him before this battle, is a very good thing. Check something. It's Ernest stats. 62 attack, 44 defense. On a paladin, you're not going to see that. At least I don't think you would. 58, 43, that's good. 74, 67. That's very good. 46, 62. Very good. 53, 54. Okay, balanced. 47, 39. Okay, she doesn't really need that good of stats anyway. 67, 48. Actually, Max's defense would be higher, but while I was training up, I forgot that his white ring was one used from breaking, so I accidentally shattered his white ring. And there's only one in the game, so you can't exactly get another one. I'm pretty sure they don't sell those in the shops. Alright, which actually brings up another thing. Alright, 49, 64, so Adam does good damage, and can take a good amount of damage. He acquired a steel ring, and I forget where he got it, but he got it off an enemy, and that increases his defense by another point, so he doesn't really need it. While in one of the stores, I saw a counter ring, which actually increases counterattack percentage by 10%. So Adam has a greater chance of fighting back when getting hit. Alright, 3440, not bad. 6360, that's pretty good. 5669. Jokes aside, Guns is very defensive. Magic is the only thing that can hurt him, really. And of course we got Hanzo. 68, 64. And 69 agility. That's really something. But we need to get to battle, not looking at everybody's stats. Super attack, 73 points of damage. Nice. The team is basically to a point where the only thing that can hurt them is magic. or just getting swamped by enemies. Once you have a full level 20 team, you're pretty much good to go, because they're not going to get much stronger than that. Their stats will go up a little bit, but they've pretty much hit their max. So if at this point they're not performing how you want them to, you should probably get rid of them, because that's about as good as they're going to do. So Lyle is not meant to be defensive. Or maybe he is, and just he gets all his defense from his pre-promotion. And if he doesn't, he's meant to be mostly offensive and not really defensive at all. Because, if I remember correctly, when I compared him with Adam, he had 10 more attack and only 10 defense. So, and he couldn't even survive one spell anyway. If you need somebody to attack from a distance and have good damage, then yeah, you could use Lyle. But if you want somebody stronger, who still has range and good defense, then you'd use like Ernest or something. But if you want them really defensive, then you would use guns, and you give them the Valkyrie. Actually, yeah, I think I will. Just a little bit of assistance. He probably doesn't need it, but eh. Oh, that's right, the card! Maybe that is a good idea. I forget if I mentioned this last time, but to get the card in this battle, you have to beat Chaos with Adam. Which I'm pretty sure Adam is pretty damn capable of doing now. So there shouldn't be an issue there. You just gotta be careful. Something else I wanted to bring up. I think it was 3 things? I think it was 3 things I wanted to bring up. One, I'm planning on doing some Pokemon games at some point. And I was wondering who I'd get as a co-commentator. Because I don't think I could really carry the entire series by myself. I tried it once before and it was okay, but I'd rather have a co-commentator. So if you want to co-op the commentary with me, you know, leave me a comment telling me that. You know, contact you on Skype or something, and we'll talk it over. That's one thing. The second thing was, if there's any games you want to play with me, you're more than welcome to do that. I don't know what games it would be, but, you know, if there's a game you'd want to play with me, you know, I'm cool with that. And that actually goes into the third thing I wanted to talk about. I have a game called Monster Hunter Tri on my Wii, and anybody who knows the Monster Hunter series know that Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate came out on the Wii U. And it's basically Tri, but better. That being said, I don't have a Wii U, I don't have Ultimate, but it kind of got me back into playing Monster Hunter Tri. And it's kind of a tricky game, and, you know, the online missions are difficult if you don't have anybody to play with, and I don't, so if any of you guys happen to have that game and want somebody to play the online missions with, well, I have it, you know. I probably wouldn't be much of a help, but hey, I could try. So, yeah. Okay, just need to get this Demon Master down. You know what? I might as well. See what a level 4 supernova looks like. Aim and fire. It has magic resistance, and it still would have one-shotted it. That's got to be an amazingly powerful attack. Alright, let's see how much Adam does. Alright. This shouldn't be that difficult, then. Let's move them away. The rest of the battles in the game should be somewhat easy. But there's still enemies we haven't seen yet. And just because our team is good, that doesn't mean the last few battles are going to be that much easier.